In this video, you will learn how to make a man worry about losing you. So if you're in a relationship and you feel like he doesn't care as much or that he takes you for granted and you want him to realize your value and importance in his life, then keep watching for 6 powerful tips to awaken his emotions and make him appreciate you more than ever before. Hi everyone, I'm psychologist and relationship coach, Dr. Antonio Borrello. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy together. So join us, subscribe, and make your love life the best part of your life. Okay, on to the tips to make him worry about losing you. Do you ever feel like you're no longer a priority in your partner's life? Like he's more focused on other things and you're fading into the background? Does it seem like he's no longer excited to see you? Well, if you want to turn this around, then he's going to have to experience the fear of losing you. Why? Because if he never feels any fear of losing you, he will never fully realize your worth and he will never fall deeply in love with you. It's true, if he never worries that you could leave him or that he could lose you, he will never value, appreciate, and love you the way that he should. It's that possibility of loss that awakens his deepest love. So let's jump into these 6 powerful tips to make him worry about losing you and turn things around in your relationship. So I want you to imagine yourself in this situation. You've just met a man that you're liking a lot. You find him handsome and charming and funny. And the two of you start flirting and getting to know one another, and you find yourself more and more attracted to him. And of course, you start to imagine what it would be like to go out with him. And little by little, you find yourself thinking about him more and more until you have this excitement inside. You know, it's the butterflies. And when you go on your first date, you have an amazing time together and the feeling just intensifies. You know the feeling I'm talking about, right? It's the beginning stages of a relationship. Well, when you're in that stage with the man, all of your interactions with him and his interactions with you are primarily motivated by 2 equally powerful drives. The first and the most obvious drive is the attraction that you feel towards him. It's that excitement you feel, the desire to be near him. It's the way he makes you feel alive and excited and turned on. That's the magnetic pull of attraction. That's the powerful force that draws you in. But there's another force at play, and it's equally, if not more, potent and powerful. It's uncertainty and fear. You see, in those early days, you're not entirely sure of how he feels about you or where you stand with him. And this uncertainty is a powerful driver of your actions. It's why you're on your best behavior or eager to impress and hoping to win his affection in return. It's why you find yourself analyzing every text and every glance and searching for clues about the way he feels. Now let's flip the script. What's happening on his end? Well, he's experiencing the same dance of attraction and uncertainty. He's captivated by you, and maybe it was your smile or your laugh or the way that you make him feel when he's around you. And he's driven to win you over. He's pulling out all the stops, right? The charming dates, the thoughtful gestures, the constant communication. He's the perfect gentleman, opening doors and sending you sweet messages and making sure that you know he's interested. He's investing in you, pouring his time, energy, and thoughts into building a potential future together. And as he invests, his appreciation for you deepens. It's a beautiful cycle, isn't it? A dance of 2 hearts, each drawn to the other, each striving to win the other's affection. But what happens when that cycle breaks? What happens when a man becomes certain of your unwavering devotion? When he knows he has you and that you're completely devoted? When he knows without a shadow of a doubt that you're head over heels and terrified of losing him? Well, that's when half of his motivation vanishes. He no longer needs to strive for your attention because he knows he already has it. The fear of losing you, the very thing that fueled his initial efforts, is gone. And with it, the spark can begin to fade. He might start taking you for granted or underappreciating your presence and not putting in the same effort as before, and the relationship can start to feel stagnant and one-sided, and that he no longer prioritizes you or the relationship. This is exactly what happened to my former client, Sarah. She was deeply in love with Mark. They had been together for 2 years, and those first few months were magical. He was everything she ever wanted in a partner. He was kind and funny and handsome, and he treated her like a queen. But lately, she felt him slipping away. He was no longer so attentive. He was no longer so romantic. It seemed as if he wasn't so excited to see her. She felt like she was fading into the background, like she wasn't a priority. He'd cancel plans at the last minute or spend more time with his friends, and seemed generally less interested in spending quality time with her. And that's when Sarah realized that she needed to do something to bring that spark back. Mark needed to be reminded of how important she was to him and what his life would be like without her. And so, she needed to reintroduce a healthy dose of uncertainty into their relationship. She needed him to worry just a little bit about losing her. Not in a manipulative way, but in a way that would remind him of the incredible woman he had by his side. And so Sarah followed the 6 tips that I shared with her, and the same ones that you can use to make a man worried about losing you and reignite that spark in your relationship. And that starts with the first tip: break the insecurity loop. When you're feeling unappreciated, it's natural to seek reassurance. You want him to tell you that he still cares, that you're still important to him. And you might ask him things like, "Do you still love me?" Or "Are you happy with me?" But here's the problem. Constantly seeking reassurance can become a vicious cycle. It can push him further away, making him see you as needy or insecure. Each time you ask for reassurance, you might get a temporary fix, but it doesn't address the underlying issue. And this is what happened to Sarah initially. She would constantly bring up her concerns, hoping for a change or for Mark to shower her with the affection he used to. But instead of bringing them closer, it created distance. Mark started to see her as someone who was always complaining, and he began to withdraw even more. He felt like he couldn't do anything right, and the constant need for reassurance became exhausting for him. So the first step is to break this cycle. Make a conscious decision to stop seeking reassurance, at least for now. Give yourself a break from the constant worry and promise yourself for the next 2 to 3 weeks, you won't bring up your concerns no matter how tempting it might be. Instead, focus on following the next 5 tips and give them a chance to work their magic. And this doesn't mean that you should ignore your feelings, but rather that you're choosing a different approach to address them. Those of you who know me know that I'm about self-improvement and helping you feel confident, look great, and live your best life. And a big part of that is fueling your body the right way. And that's why I'm excited to partner with Muffins, who sponsored today's videos. Now, these aren't just any muffins. They're protein-packed, gluten-free, dairy-free, and seed oil-free. And they're just about as clean as you can get. But here's what really blows me away. These are fluffy and soft. They're not dry and dense like the other protein snacks out there. They actually taste like the muffins that you loved as a child. You're never gonna believe that something this indulgent could be packed with 13 grams of protein, 0 added sugar, and real wholesome ingredients. Now, I use Muffins to help me stay on track with my fitness goals without feeling like I'm giving up the foods I love. And I've got a great deal for you. Click the link in the description and use code AskDrAntonio to get $5 off your order, plus free shipping on purchases of $49 or more. And big thanks to Muffins for sponsoring this video. Trust me, once you've tried these, you'll be thanking me. Click on the link in the description and get yours today. Number 2, adopt an indifferent attitude. This is where things get interesting. This step is about adopting an attitude of indifference. Now, I'm not talking about being cold or mean. I'm talking about showing a subtle yet noticeable lack of intense interest. It's about demonstrating that you're not overly invested and that you have a light outside of him and that you're not desperately clinging to the relationship. Let me explain what an indifferent attitude looks and feels like. So imagine you go on a few dates with someone and you're not entirely sure about if you like them, but you're leaning more towards not liking them. So until you've made your decision, what are your interactions like with him? Well, you're probably polite and you respond to his texts, but you're not initiating conversations or going out of your way to impress him. You put him more in the friend zone a bit, kind of detached. You enjoy his company, but you're not overly concerned with where things are going. And that's the energy you want to cultivate with your partner. So Sarah started doing this with Mark. When he texted her, she responded, but her replies were brief and friendly and not overly enthusiastic. She stopped initiating conversation so much, and she didn't ask him about his day. She was polite, but not overly engaged. And she wouldn't respond immediately to his text, and she took a little bit of time to craft a short but pleasant reply. And when you do the same thing, this subtle shift will be noticeable. He'll start to wonder what's changed. He might even start to panic a little bit, wondering if you're losing interest. And that's exactly what you want. You want him to feel a sense of unease, to realize that you're not as readily available as he thought. It's about showing him that you're not at his beck and call, that you have your own life and your own priorities. And that uncertainty he feels will be the spark that ignites this process. Number 3, reclaim your independence. Now, this step is all about rediscovering the amazing woman that you are outside of the relationship. Remember, when Sarah first met Mark, she had her own life, her own friends, her own passions. She was a vibrant, independent woman with a full and exciting life. But somewhere along the way, she'd started to lose herself in the relationship. Her world began to revolve around Mark, and she neglected her own interests and friendships. But Sarah understood the importance of reclaiming her independence. And like Sarah, it's time to reclaim your independence. Go out with your friends and pursue your hobbies and make yourself a priority and show him that your life is full and complete with or without him. This isn't about playing games, it's about genuinely reconnecting with yourself and demonstrating that your happiness doesn't solely depend on him. So Sarah started making plans with her friends again. She joined a book club and she started taking dance classes, something that she had always wanted to do. And she even planned a weekend getaway with her sister. She was busy, she was happy, and she wasn't always available when Mark called. She was rediscovering her passions and reconnecting with the things that made her happy. Now, making this shift will not only boost your own confidence, but will also make him see you in a new light. He'll remember the independent and vibrant woman that he was initially attracted to. He'll realize that you have a life outside of him and that you're not afraid to live. It's a powerful reminder that you are a complete person with or without him. Number 4, elevate your appearance and energy. Now, I know this might sound superficial, but hear me out. Taking care of your appearance isn't about vanity. It's about self-respect and confidence. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you radiate a different kind of energy. It's about taking pride in yourself and presenting the best version of yourself to the world. So Sarah decided to make a few changes. She started working out again, not to lose weight, but to feel stronger and more energized. She updated her wardrobe and bought a few pieces that made her feel confident and attractive. And she even tried a new hairstyle, something that she had been wanting to do for a while. And this transformation was subtle, but it was significant. She felt more confident and more attractive and more like her old self. And this change will have a twofold effect on him. First, he'll notice the difference and he'll likely be drawn to your renewed confidence and energy. He'll see that you're taking care of yourself and that you're looking your best. And second, he will start to wonder why you're making these changes. Is it for him or is it for someone else? And this little bit of uncertainty will keep him on his toes and remind him that you're a desirable woman with options. It's a subtle way of showing him that you're not taking your appearance or yourself for granted. Number 5, talk when he's ready to listen. If you followed these previous steps correctly, he's likely noticed a change and he might be acting more attentive or he might be questioning your behavior. Either way, it's a sign that the time is right for a heart-to-heart conversation. This is a moment to be open and honest about how you've been feeling. And this is your opportunity to express your feelings honestly and directly. So you're gonna tell him that you've been feeling taken for granted and unappreciated, and share your needs and expectations for the relationship. But remember, this isn't about blaming or accusing. It's about communicating your needs clearly and calmly. It's about explaining how his actions have made you feel and what you need from him moving forward. So Sarah finally had this conversation with Mark. She told him how she'd been feeling and what she needed from him. She was honest and vulnerable and firm. She didn't attack him, she simply expressed her truth. She explained that she needed him to be more present, to make more of an effort, and to show her that he valued their relationship. And this conversation is crucial. It's a chance for him to understand your perspective and to make a conscious decision about whether he's willing to step up and meet your needs. It's a turning point in the relationship, a moment of truth where both of you can lay your cards on the table. Number 6, show that you can walk away. And this is the final and perhaps the most important step. After you've had this heart-to-heart conversation, you need to be willing to let go. You need to show him that you're serious about your needs and that you won't settle for less than you deserve. This is about setting boundaries and sticking to them. And this doesn't necessarily mean breaking up, but it does mean being prepared to walk away if things don't change. He needs to know that your love is not unconditional, that it's contingent upon him treating you with respect and appreciation. It's about showing him that you value yourself enough to walk away from a situation that isn't serving you. Sarah made it clear to Mark that she was committed to the relationship, but only if he was willing to put in the effort to make things better. She was prepared to walk away if he wasn't. This is a powerful message, and it was one that Mark needed to hear. She wasn't threatening him, she was simply stating her truth and setting a clear boundary. And that's exactly what you need to do to turn things around, make him recognize your value, and appreciate and love you like he did before. Now, if you've been in a relationship and felt taken for granted, but you were eventually able to turn things around, this is your opportunity to help another woman who might be struggling with the same. So please share your story in the comments below. Your message might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear to take action. This is an opportunity for you to help other women that might be on the fence. Or if you're currently in this situation and you want some advice, leave a comment below and describe your situation and get our community feedback. Oh, and click here to watch a video that will help you to stop worrying and fearing that your guy is going to lose interest in you. It's probably the most important video I've ever made. So check that out right here. I'll see you in the next video.